Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Lord Crumbs, and I want to do a sit-down video to chat to you today. So let's chat about new information that's come about. Sims community has just posted a thread where they are claiming that Maxis is in deep development of a Sims 5. Like many other people, I'm craving for a new kind of Sims game, and I'm hoping that this is going to be it. However, I don't want it just yet, and I'll explain why in this video. So let's first see what the Sims community has to say. So in this it says, Maxis is in deep development of The Sims 5, will be prototyped in Unreal Engine. And this is by Jovan Jovic. We first reported back in September 2018 that Maxis has finally started working on the new Sims title. The brief history, blah blah, many more. Let's clarify some things. It doesn't mean the final product of a Sims game will be completely reliant on Unreal Engine. Okay, I'm glad about that, because actually I was thinking about this. If they did do it in the Unreal Engine, surely that after a certain amount of sales they have to provide Unreal Engine some sort of commission, because that's the same with Unity. I believe if you make over £100,000 or dollars or whatever it is, then you have to provide some sort of funding towards the engine itself. On the flip side of it, if they do use Unreal Engine, this will actually be beneficial simply because of the fact that you can create so many different types of games on these sort of engines, and it's making them learn other things. So it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. So basically what it is saying that there is a load of new jobs being provided for a new Sims title. One of the jobs, as it looks here, is the gameplay UI, which is actually a good sign, because as we've seen with Paralives, they get like assets and the core things in play, and then they start working on UI and gameplay. So we've seen that from behind the scenes development. We don't normally see that in bigger companies' games like EA, so that's some sort of understanding there. This is my theory. It's just a theory, might not necessarily be true. However, it probably isn't true. This is just what I am secretly hoping. This is what I discussed with several other friends, and this is what I just assume that's happening. Obviously this is not confirmed, I've got no sources. This is just what I would have done if I had my own gaming company, and well, not necessarily what I would have done, but if I was in the same situation as EA is. So The Sims 3 is a fantastic game. You either love it or you hate it. You think The Sims look great, you think The Sims look bad, but one thing we cannot fault it on is the fact that it really pushed its boundaries in regards of the gameplay. It had story progression, it had open worlds, features that we don't see now in The Sims 4. I think that was because The Sims 4, they did as much as they could do on its aging engine, this original game engine. They tried adding more and more stuff in, and deep down of it there was a load of corruption issues and issues just generally with the game. I'm not saying it's a bad game, in fact I still absolutely love it and I still play it to this day, but it does need several mods and fixes to play. Likewise with The Sims 3, they created it and it seemed like a really quick production, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like it was only in production for a few years. So it seemed that the game was already fundamentally created and they were just fine-tuning it. But obviously as more and more packs came along, Maxis actually said please don't have all the games and all the expansion packs and all the stuff packs installed at one time, because you can come into issues with it, and that is just because it wasn't optimized as well. So The Sims 4 for me, I reckon, was a way to up the ante, up the graphics and up the game quality in a sense, and to get away from The Sims 3, which was constantly producing more and more issues as more and more packs were created. So now this is where I get into my ridiculous theory, but it does kind of make sense if you think about it. So in The Sims 4, we keep moaning about the lack of animations, the lack of objects, the lack of love being put into the game, and the sheer amount of content that they gave us and have given us and are giving us. And don't get me wrong, more content is better, and each game, the game still obviously has its bugs and glitches, but every game does. But The Sims 4, to me, feels like it is a cash grab, and some people actually agree with me for that. And most people actually would agree that it is a cash grab. But this is where my ridiculous theory gets a little bit more ridiculous. I think that it's a cash grab so that they could fund The Sims 5. Because whenever you create a game, you're hiring a team of people several years before the game's even released. So before the game's even released, you're starting out your company in the red, because you have to fund and hire so many different types of people, marketing agents, and you have to fund asset creators and gameplay software engineers. You're paying their salaries for however many years that the game is being created for. So until you actually release the game, you're already in a negative. So my hopes and my theory is that The Sims 4 is a cash grab. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I'm hoping that it's funding The Sims 5, or the new series of The Sims games. So that's what I'm hoping for, and that's where the game has the love and has the optimization of the open worlds. Not even open worlds, I want open neighborhoods back, just to be able to go visit your neighbor, just simple things like that. My ridiculous theory is that The Sims 4 is funding The Sims 5, and with that, I don't think we're going to see The Sims 5 for a few more years, because I reckon they know that they need to up their ante, up their game a little bit more, and actually compete with things like Paralives and other simulation games. And I'm sure there are more in development out there, and behind the scenes we probably are going to get an influx of simulation games, because people are actually craving it, because what we're offered at the moment isn't better, or then again, better isn't really the word, because there's so many things in The Sims 4 which are better than the other games do. Like, let's face it, The Sims do look better in this version. The build mode is 100 times better than any other Sims game that we've seen before. With that being said, I wouldn't want to see a Sims 5 being released this year, or even next year, as in 2022. The earliest I want to see The Sims 5 teaser announcements and trailers would be 2023, if they are deep within production of The Sims 5 now, simply because I want them to have the time, the resources to literally make it the best it can be. And I actually would love to see the Sims team return to its original format back in the Sims 2 days, where they only release 1 or 2 expansion packs like once a year, like maybe stuff back in expansion pack once a year, I think it was. I would much rather see that than a new pack every few months, because they'll have more time to refine all the details, all the gameplay mechanics, and giving us more content within that expansion pack. You compare the other, like even in Sims 3, where the development was a little bit quicker, but still not as quick as The Sims 4. You see, you get so much more content within each and every pack, and I kind of want to see that back again, in my personal opinion. And remember that this is all just my opinions, so please do share me yours down below. I love to hear what other people say, but also respect other people's opinions. If you see a comment below, if there is any that you disagree with, then please don't put hate on it. Learn and try and understand where they're coming from, and likewise where I'm coming from, and I'll try and do the same for you. But The Sims 4, as I say, is a cash grab. It is funding The Sims 5, and The Sims 5 will be OP. That's what I'm hoping, and that's what I'm holding out for. I will say that if there isn't customization tools such as like Create a World tool for The Sims 5, or even the ability to add my own lots and edit the world like The Sims 3 does, you don't even need to create a world tool. You have the edit world function, or even The Sims 2, just being able to place lots down and add trees and decorations and stuff. If they don't have that sort of element to it, I don't know, the gameplay will have to be pretty superb. Now, I've seen people saying my perfect Sims 5 game would be this, this and this, so I'm gonna tell you mine. Mine would be The Sims 1 humour. So when you get the prank calls and like the little Easter eggs inside job descriptions and chance cards and stuff like that, I want those to return. I want that humour and that fun to come back, and like little things like the stripper coming out the cake. You can't really exactly see what's going on, but it's just just those little quirks that I miss. I want The Sims 2 want some fears and gameplay. Now, this is an unpopular opinion, but it's one that I believe. So, in The Sims 2, your creativity skill means if you max it, you're good at painting, writing, playing a musical instrument, and stuff like that. I kind of want to see that level back into it, because I like getting my Sims to the top of all their skills. But in games like The Sims 4, where you've got a different skill for different things, it's like of every instrument, and then writing, it's just ridiculous. The amount of skills that if you want to complete a max Sim, it's just so many things to think about. And with like toddlers as well, they can max their creativity skill, but then when they learn the piano, it's only like skill 4 and stuff like that. They're not. It's just like there's just so many extra skills that I feel like you don't need, and I just want to simplify it a little bit more. And that I know that is an unpopular opinion, but I do want to get it simplified. I'd love to see the open world return, and I think that's a big thing for a lot of people. Again, not necessarily a whole world, massive world like there is in The Sims 3. I'd love to see neighbourhoods and story progression. That's one of the flaws about Sims 2, is that I happily play and I'll happily sit through the loading screens, but there's no story progression. When I do a legacy, I want to be able to move one of my spares out, and once my heir has had children and married and whatever, I want to see their aunties and uncles age and grow up and have their own families. But I don't want to have to play with them. I just want to be like, bye, see you later, girl, get out the door. I'd love to see them do that. And at the same time, with The Sims 4, I want the build mode to be implemented, obviously with some extra features, i.e. like pond tool and anything else they can think about. And I don't want to go too customized. I don't want to go like Planet Coaster customization, because I think that's a little bit too much, and sometimes you just want to sit down, build a box and then put your Sims in there. Let's face it, you do. But at the same time, I do want the creativity of being able to size objects up again and alt place things and move them around. But I think they need to have like X, Y and Z rotational axes as well, just like the tool mod does. I think they need to incorporate that within the game. In regards of how The Sims look and the graphics, what version I would prefer, it will be The Sims 4. You can shoot me, but I do actually really like the clay hair. Another thing I want to see in The Sims 5, I would love to see lore return, like actual lore. So like family trees and descendants, deceased family members. So like in The Sims 2, we got to see that Brandy Brokes, her parents are actually Bob and Betty Newby from The Sims 1. And if you go back far enough, in Dina and Nina Caliente's family tree, they actually are alien descendants. We don't see that in The Sims 4 with their ones. We just see a mother who has got a different name to her Sims 2 counterpart, and we don't realise that they're actually part alien. So it'd be nice to see that sort of lore come into The Sims 4 Gallery. I would love to see that have a version in The Sims 5, because I think it's so handy, so easy and so user friendly. In The Sims 5, when it comes to objects and clothes and hairstyles and makeup and stuff like that, so they've just introduced the makeup sliders and stuff like that. I reckon they should have that again for Sims 5, but also have it for hair as well, so that you could have like the scale of hair that you want. You can choose like the roots and tip colours like you could in The Sims 3. With the objects, I don't think I want Creator Style back, to be honest. Unless they can really refine it, but I don't think they would. I don't think they could be able to without it slowing down. I think the best way to do it is resort back to The Sims 2, where, for instance, when you have a bed, you can choose the bedsheet colours, but also the bed frame. And I think they need to get that element back into it, so you don't have to. You're not tied to certain swatches. It's like split off, so different parts of the furniture. And my last ask for Sims 5 is matching wood tones, please. I know that it's really hard to match everything in real life, and for people like me, I do. Everything in my house is matched with what's in the rest of the room, and it all goes well. And it just annoys me that in The Sims 4, don't know, you put down a side table and then you put a console table on the side, and they're different woods, like they're meant to be the same woods but they're completely different, and it's just like, please, can I not? So EA, if you are listening, then thank you very much for watching, and I hope that I get some sort of what I've asked for in the Sims form. So in the comments below, on my Twitter, Lord Crumps, like it is on here, tweet at me, write in the comments, tell me what you want to see. Like, it's really interesting, but remember, be respectful for other people's opinions. If someone says they don't like the clay hair, don't jump down their throat and say, I don't like it, or if someone thinks their Sims 3 characters look the best, don't jump down their throat, because let's face it, we all have our own personal tastes and preferences. Let's just try and respect that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I just wanted to have a sit down and talk about Sims 5 because that's all everyone seems to be talking about. I will see you again soon, and I hope you're staying safe and keeping well, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.